Chicago Bears Now is sponsored by RexMD. Struggling in the bedroom, losing some confidence? Well, RexMD will get you back on track, I should say, the online leader in men's health there. RexMD.com/chat to get started today. My name is Harrison Graham, and coming up on today's show, 5 free agents that the Bears could sign to reunite with in Chicago. Maybe some are realistic, maybe some aren't. Just kind of wanted to do a fun show here with a couple of weeks left to go until training camp. Let's start with the first one here, and one that wouldn't be my top edge target, but wouldn't say no to, and that's Robert Quinn, who, look, had a frustrating, disappointing season last year. Obviously started the season with the Bears, wasn't super productive, although he was drawing some double teams because he was the one real threat on the Bears defensive line. Gets traded to Philadelphia at the trade deadline for a 4th-round pick, and did nothing for the Eagles, to be fair. Had just 1 sack the whole season between the two teams. But you look at his career, the year before, 18.5 sacks. He was one of the best defensive players in the NFL. 2020 wasn't that good. Year before that, 11.5 sacks. It's an even year. It's like the Giants in baseball, it's an odd year. Giants were even year, and they used to win the World Series in those even years. Obviously, that eventually ended, but could Robert Quinn in 2023 in an odd year have a 10-plus sack season? I don't know. Obviously, that streak is going to end eventually, but I got to think he's got a little something left in the tank, at least more than what he had last year. And some reasons to bring back Quinn are as follows. Number one, he did not want to leave Chicago. He made that very clear. He wanted to remain here, even though the Bears weren't contending. He liked living in Chicago. His family was there. He did not want to move. Number two, it does fill a position of need. You need an edge rusher. There's no doubt about that. And number three, he's a valuable veteran voice in a locker room for young players like Dominique Robinson, Travis Gibson. He can spread that wisdom on this defensive line and throughout the football team. Again, he's not the top edge I would sign, but if breaking news dropped right now and it said the Bears are signing Robert Quinn to a 1-year deal, I wouldn't be mad at it. Just saying, we'll see if Ryan Poles has any interest. Next player up here is Akiem Hicks, a fan favorite who obviously has gotten older and has had some injuries pile up, and that continued last year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he was great in Chicago, man. He was a warrior for this team through 6 seasons, had 31 sacks, 247 tackles, 51 tackles for loss, 88 QB hits, 5 forced fumbles. He was great against the run. He was a great pass rusher, always knocking quarterbacks to the ground. And look, realistically, I don't know what his role would be here. He's aging. He's gotten old. Injuries have piled up. But if it's like a 1-year vet minimum deal to be like your 4th or 5th defensive tackle, again, be a valuable veteran voice, he does love Chicago. Like, I do know that to be the case. He's been more of a 3-4 guy, so I don't know if he's a perfect scheme fit. But, again, even if his role wasn't that massive, I still think he could have a valuable role on this team. I don't think this one would happen, but you never know. He's an ex-Bear that is available. Now, if you had to just bring one back, who would you pick? Type RQ for Robert Quinn or AH for Akiem Hicks. I think the emotional part of us would pick Akiem Hicks, but for the one who actually fills a bigger need, it's Robert Quinn. Let me know what you guys think, RQ for Quinn or AH for Akiem Hicks. Now, today's show is sponsored by RexMD. Fellas, do you sometimes lack confidence in the bedroom? Do you wish that you could have a more fulfilling sex life? Well, you're not alone. That's why we're excited to tell you about RexMD, the online source for men's wellness. RexMD offers an easy and discreet way to get the medication you need for erectile dysfunction without having to visit a doctor's office. With just a few clicks, you can have your medication delivered straight to your door and at a fraction of the cost of traditional pharmacies. RexMD's team of licensed physicians will work with you to find the right treatment plan, and their medication is made in the U.S., so you can trust its quality. Plus, their customer support team is available 24/7 to answer any questions or concerns that you may have. So if you're ready to take control of your sex life and say goodbye to ED, head on over to RexMD.com/chat and start your consultation today. Take advantage of their best deal they've ever offered and save up to 90% off and pay only $2 per dosage with our link, RexMD.com/chat. Starter packs of generic Viagra or Cialis are now available for up to 90% off. It's RexMD.com/chat. Check the comments. Check the description for that link. Get started. Take control of your sex life with RexMD. Bryce Callahan is the next ex-Bear that we're going to talk about. He's obviously been gone for a few years now at this point in time, but you look at his past 4 seasons, one thing that's been kind of a common theme with Bryce Callahan is he's had injury issues. Now, last year he played in 15 to 17 games, so he was mostly healthy, but 11 games, 10 games, missed 2019. Like, he's had a lot of injury problems, but he's a good nickel when healthy, even still. I mean, he had 3 picks last year, and he wasn't even a full-time starter with the Chargers. PFF graded him out pretty highly. Now, you look at the Bears' cornerback depth chart. In a perfect world, you're set, right? Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, they're your outside guys. Kyler Gordon's your nickel. You're set right now and hopefully long-term if you keep Jalen Johnson on an extension. Vildor's a solid backup. Jalen Jones and Blackwell can be depth guys, special teamers as well. But if you do have doubts or concerns about Kyler Gordon, who struggled as a rookie, played better down the stretch, but did struggle overall, that provides insurance. Bryce Callahan can give you some insurance there. Now, are you going to sign an older corner who has some injury questions, who's probably not going to give you much on special teams just to be an insurance guy? I don't know. That's a real question you'd have to ask. You'd be cutting somebody, a younger player, on that backup list there. So I don't think the Bears would do it, but if you're concerned about Kyler Gordon playing at a high level, well, Bryce Callahan's available, and he could be a starting level nickel back. Now, if you want the Bears to make the playoffs this year, sub for Bears Dubs. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to be live for every single game this year. Preseason games, regular season games, hopefully playoff games too if they make it. If they do make it, we'll definitely be live. I can promise you that. Sub for Bears Dubs. Hit that big subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Jason Peters is next up here, and you're probably thinking, Jason Peters, he's 41 years old. He is 41 years old, but in 2021 with the Chicago Bears, he was the best offensive lineman you had. Started the entire season for the Bears that season. Graded out very well for Pro Football Focus, 77.5, 78 as a pass blocker, 71 as a run blocker, gave up just 6 sacks, played over 850 snaps. Last year, he was mostly a backup, but still played 235 snaps, started a couple games for the Cowboys at 40 years old. Graded out well again, 70 overall. Pass blocking slipped a bit, but they moved him around. He played left tackle, left guard, and right tackle. Just kind of, if guys went down, he would be the guy that plugged in, kind of that 6th offensive lineman. Gave up just 1 sack and 235 snaps, so that's still a damn good ratio. You look at this Bears offensive line, I'm actually optimistic about the starting 5 of Braxton Jones, Tevin Jenkins, Cody Whitehair, Nate Davis, and Darnell Wright, but there's a strong argument to be made that Jason Peters would be your best backup lineman. Maybe you could say Lucas Patrick, who has guard center flexibility, has started a lot in this league, but who's your swing tackle? Is Larry Borom that guy? Is Alex Leatherwood? Maybe, but maybe not. There's a strong argument to be made that he's better than both of those players who have had opportunities, especially Larry Borom. So, look, I know he's 41. I know he doesn't fit the rebuilding timeline, but I still think there's value in having vets like this. I think in 2021 there was value having him here as a veteran voice. And if he wants to play another year, be a backup, be a guy that can be a leader on that offensive line unit, I'm open to it for the vet minimum. That does not handicap you in any way against the salary cap. Now, would you sign Jason Peters? Type S for sign or P for pass. Again, I'm open to the idea. It just depends on how you feel about Alex Leatherwood and Larry Borom, to be completely honest. S for sign or P for pass. One more offensive lineman who was a Bear this past season, Michael Schofield, remains unsigned. And remember, for all you people who have been sliding in my DM saying, stop talking about free agents, they're not signing anyone. They signed Michael Schofield and Riley Reif on the first day of training camp last year. So there is definitely a possibility they could sign some guys. Schofield graded out pretty well, played 418 snaps, part-time starter. Cody Whitehair missed some time. Lucas Patrick missed some time, so he was able to plug in and play. 67 overall. Graded out well as a pass blocker. Okay as a run blocker. Just 2 penalties, gave up just 1 sack, so he performed pretty well. Again, going back to the offensive line depth chart, who's your best interior backup? Probably Lucas Patrick, but he's much better at center than he is at guard. I think Schofield's better at guard than Patrick is, to be honest. He could be your swing guard on this offensive line, and he's solid at that. I mean, and if he has to play, he can play at a serviceable level. He's not an all-pro. He's not a stud. Listen, he's not even the best Michael Schofield. Prison Break people, you guys know the drill. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just look it up. But Schofield as a top and backup guard is solid. Now, where's Tyree Carter fit in all this? He got some first-team reps in OTAs when Nate Davis was skipping. If they're high on him, Schofield probably doesn't make sense, but if they're not sure, then bringing in a guy like Schofield could make some sense. Now, who is your favorite ex-Bear? All-time, guys who are still active, doesn't matter, it can be anybody. Favorite former Chicago Bear, drop his name in the comments below. And be sure to hit that subscribe button here on the channel. Again, just a fun segment today. It's not super realistic they're going to go sign multiple of these guys. Maybe they sign one, though. You never know. There's still some needs on this roster. We'll continue to plug out content on a daily basis here on Chicago Bears Now.